Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the Ultimate Mobile Racing League in the summer of 2025. Yes, it is true, we are past the 1-year anniversary for this league, which of course was celebrated with round 1 at Barcelona. It's been dominated by F1 fan who has made his comeback in the league. And he of course is also here again today for qualifying at the Circuito dos Cristais, a circuit that very much exists in real life. That's something that I didn't know for quite some time because it is classified as a fictional track in the game. But yeah, it actually exists in the city of Curvelo. We got 17 turns around this very twisty track with very characteristic changes in direction here, as we see Fede go through that second sequence of corners. Then a very quick infield, very tough to keep the pedal pinned to the floor here. And then up at turn 5, once again, very long corners and a very challenging end to this track. And as we cross the line for the second time, we're going to see who does set the pace in qualifying. 1.5 minutes left now. And once again, it looks like it is F1 fan setting the tone, but Crustunet, who is racing this time around for Aston Martin, which is now my team as well, does beat him by just over 1/10 of a second. And we get Elcrack racing once again, a driver who has still only taken podiums whenever he has raced. An unbelievable rookie. No, sorry, He's raced 8 times and taken 6 podiums. Well, yeah, he still took a podium on debut, beating Caddo in the rain at Canada. And once again, he is up there whenever he is really jumping in for Etruria Racing Team. Yeah, I raced last time for Aston Martin, then it was Brazidas who commentated, of course the team owner for Etruria Racing Team, our current team's champions. So we're just kind of switching through here, and today it's quite a spontaneous entry for me as well, because Seb is racing for Aston, and I can't argue that Seb probably is doing a better job, especially when I haven't actually practiced for this track. Still, the top 3 remain unchanged. We got Toaster64 in 4th position then. He's racing for the one-time team this season. I don't have the lineups that much in mind as I normally do. MP Motorsport don't have a new livery for this season yet, I think. So that's why they're just completely orange. I think that actually looks quite fine with that color. Laguno is also actually here. He wasn't here last time out, but he is not on pace. It was a horrendous race for him, I think. No, it wasn't a horrendous race. It was the only race that he won in the autumn season. But I remember him also having some difficulties around here. Not sure. He is especially facing them today. Only in P7 is very unusual. Nothing's changed at the top towards the end. Crustunet crosses the line for the final time, and it looks like he's taken pole position for Aston Martin Ultimate Mobile Racing Team. And that will be his 4th career pole position. In the championship standings, we have F1 fan, of course, leading the way. Toaster64 with a great quali today is in 2nd after taking his first podium. Finally, last time out, he's now racing for the Etruria Racing Team. And for today, we see Crustunet back on top. F1 fan still with an amazing performance, and once again will be looking to win this race. Elcrack in P3, out-qualifying his teammate and champion from the winter season, Guillermo, who did set the same time as Toaster64, who lines up in P5. The 2 Williams, Laguno and Matt, also set the same time, and they start in 6th and 7th. And Wilger too, who will be alongside the Frenchman. Loish, a new teammate for F1 fan this race, is gonna start P9. A very good job. Also ahead of Majumdar in the S25M. Glow is 11th, racing for HRT. Huanvi, P12 in the S25M. Then Fede, team owner of APA, only P13, tied on tied on time with Salopete. Seb only P15. And Sigma Bob 16th in the MP. And Sabercat, our UMRL graduate, only in P17. So let's see what Brazil does have in store for us today. It's the third time we're racing around this configuration of track. 5 lights ahead of the drivers, and we are underway at the Circuito dos Cristais. Crustunet is in P1, F1 fan slotting in behind him as we go through turns 1, 2 and 3. Elcrack is still in P3, then we got his teammate Guillermo in 4th position. Laguno is P5, already ahead of his teammate Matt. Then we see the MP Motorsport of Wilger taking P6 in the S25M of Majumdar, the new team owner of the league, in P8 now. And we see Crustunet make a mistake. F1 fan goes through in the APA, also a brand new team in this league. Crustunet and Elcrack go wheel to wheel, but the Spaniard losing 2 positions after a costly mistake coming out of turn 14. And still into the hairpin we go. Down the inside with a move on F1 fan. Elcrack taking the lead of the race, still wheel to wheel, and F1 fan comes back at him. Then we see Majumdar now making up a lot of positions. F1 fan on the soft tires. We get Elcrack on the mediums, getting a nice exit though, still out of the final corner. And Fede once again victim of maybe his connection. I think so. He is also one of the drivers with more DNFs in this league, sadly. Laguno in 5th position. He's got a few very tough drivers to overtake today. F1 fan seems to be on fire. I'm not sure if he's even back on the Discord server, which of course you should join. But he is on another level. Finally, he's not taken a win until last time out. And now he certainly seems to be a lot tougher to beat for Laguno and all the likes that he's got stacked up behind him right now. And also Elcrack, when he appears, he can be unbeatable. And they are all just staying how they are. Now Crustunet trying to go alongside. It's not that easy to defend through this mix of racing lines that can be taken there. And now the teammate of Elcrack manages to slip past. That's Guillermo and Crustunet, our old rivals from the winter 2025 season, ending in a very spectacular finale at Singapore, even though Crustunet didn't race. And now Guillermo being squeezed into the barrier, and Laguno goes through, always taking advantage of any opportunities that open up ahead of him, as he already tries to put his car up the inside in turn 4. And that all that allows F1 fan to go ahead, as Laguno just seems to brake a lot later somehow. And out of turn 12 there, he takes the second position by going through the middle of Crustunet and Elcrack. And Elcrack almost off the podium now, wheel to wheel still between the pair of them. Elcrack with the inside for the next 3 corners here, but then we go into the slowest corner of the track. And Elcrack does keep it for now. Guillermo is back behind the Aston Martin that started on pole position. Guillermo came from 4th on the grid. That's where he also is now, as Crustunet is the first one to get a fresh set of soft tires. That is very much an undercut attempt, or the prevention thereof. And now there's no car between F1 fan and Laguno. Both of them are on soft tires. They last 8 to 13 laps around this track today. And we got the mediums with 11 to 15 laps, and the hards last 14 to 18, but only Sigma Bob and Glow are in the set of tires right now. Also new drivers, Sabercat, who I haven't mentioned yet. I think he's a bit of a controversial one because of his driving style that he's shown in UMRL, but yeah, let's see what he can do. Right now he's in P7. make that P6's driver's pit. F1 fan has also pitted and given the lead to Laguno. We don't have any rain today, so no gambles involved here. Laguno disappears into the pit lane, which is also quite a very tricky entry. And it's a 1-2 for Etruria Racing Team now. Both of them have gone for the mediums. Let's see what the teams have talked about in their pre-race preparations. It seems like the medium is a popular one, at least for the start now. Sigma Bob up to P3 now. We see Huanvi going wheel to wheel with him in the S25M. Both of them on 0 stops. Majumdar has pitted, teammate of Huanvi, and he's in P12. Crustunet knocking on the door though now and trying to disturb that battle with his fresh set of softs. He wants to make his undercut work. Down the inside he goes at Ferragura. That's also the same name of a turn at Brazil. Oh, mistake cost him a lot, and that is F1 fan going around the outside of him. Wow. Yeah, Crustunet actually seemed to be ahead of F1 fan for the moment. Of course, the tire difference would have come into play a lot later, but now that mistake has cost Crust already. But they are really having to fight with these drivers on the old tires. Elkrak is still going out there with a 5-second lead and of course 0 stops. But Laguno now in 2nd place, having to fend off Huanvi. Yeah, it seems like it's put the reigning champion and probably the undisputed GOAT of this league now into a very good position. F1 fan and Crustunet now actually are there. No cars between them anymore. And we once again see the Williams in 1st. Of course, that hasn't happened last time out at Spain. But now Crust, Crust, of course, the fast Spaniard, and Laguno also here as Crust just slips through down the main straight. What has happened there? F1 fan maybe just trying to take the slipstream. I'm not sure. That's my only explanation, unless it's been some internet connections or his thumb slipped off the throttle pedal. But Crustunet now in 2nd position, with Guillermo right behind him. Elkrak has gone very long, and that has cost him, at least for the moment. Now he's gone for hard tires. That's a different strategy to Guillermo. So he might do less stops here. We got 42 laps around here. That's actually not the correct number that was supposed to be there. It's 5 laps longer than usual. As we see Guillermo and F1 fan go wheel to wheel. Anyways, it's more laps than last time, but it could be very interesting. But let's focus on this battle here, shall we? Mats goes into the pit lane as well. Now he's a Williams driver as well, now that LSA Porsche doesn't exist anymore. And round the outside of turns 2 and 3 goes Guillermo up into P2. And now we got 2 Spaniards once again. 1 and 2. They have finished 1 and 2 in this order quite a number of times now. How is F1 fan going to respond? We did see him, of course, win the F1 ES Championship, beating Piggy in that final showdown at Qatar. It's a race that I'll cite forever. But yeah, never quite able to be there consistently. We had huge expectations heading into the 3rd season. But maybe that pressure kinda got to him. And let's see what he will do in this position now. He's dominated last race. He's still in the position to chase. But these are the only 2 UMRL champions that are on the grid here ahead of him. Crustunet has pitted for a 2nd time, by the way. We got many medium tire drivers We got Elkrag and Magender in the mix there. Crusnet's now gone for mediums too, and down to P6 for the moment. And we got Matt just 1.3 seconds of the pole sitter here. And Wilger also with a great performance. He has had his difficulties of keeping up with the newer generation over the last few seasons. 27, 28 races. I'm not sure if he raced last time out. Yes, he did. So it's 28 races now in his career. And still just one podium from his very first race. Kind of a Kevin Magnussen story here, I would say so far. And Magender now also has pitted again off the soft tires. And he goes down to P9 for the moment. We get Seb in 8th position. Not much to talk about from his side so far. Seb also, he's always kind of a driver that where there's not a lot to talk about, but also in Season 3 he was actually one of the drivers, I think apart from Laguno, he scored the most points per race. So he could very well have fought for the championship if he raced more often. But yeah, doesn't seem like that, at least in this Grand Prix. We just saw someone disappear into the pit lane. That was F1 fan. He's now in P6. And we're just halfway through this race for now. F1 fan's been fighting with Elkrag as he just took a little bit of that dirt around the track with him in that S section. Caula da Onça, that's how this section is called. I don't have a track map with all the corner numbers. Some of them are just named. Yeah, it's still not the most popular track, like the most famous one. But anyway, we see Guillermo, who has now also picked up a few lead laps in Season 5 already. Go into the pit lane and once again go for mediums. Yeah, it seems like the yellow striped compound is the most popular here. And now we see Elkrag's strategy maybe unfolding in his way, in his favor again. As he hits the front in the Etruria and on the hard tires, which still look pretty solid. And Crustunet goes into the pit lane once again already. Wow. His tires just halfway done. Softs go onto his car now. Maybe he wasn't that happy with his traffic situation. It seems like he's going for a 4-stopper here. Of course it is longer laps, but Elkrag is going to try and make a 2-stop work, as it seems. Yeah, that's the highest up battle that we have right now. Going into turn 12, Guillermo sends it, is able to carry more speed than Matt on the old tires, and the Williams driver from France takes to the pit lane. Guillermo back up into the podium places for now, and with fresher tires than F1 fan, so they're still not separated by much, but we're still in that same position from before the second phase of pit stops. With Laguno leading by 3 seconds. Now also getting a neat little slipstream. But Elkrag is gonna have to fight, and now that teamwork could maybe come into play, but Laguno is already through. I wanted to say maybe Elkrag can hold up the Spaniard here a bit for his teammate to catch up. Guillermo in P3, but Laguno having none of that and not leaving a lot of space going into the hairpin there. Probably he did not see Elkrag alongside him though. I estimate Laguno's racecraft to be that high, although he's not having to fight with other drivers most of the time because he's just clear of them. Elkrag still picking up the slipstream on his side now, and that could benefit him towards the end of the race because his hard tires now are really slippery. I think he's just hanging on to them to get another set of hearts. I suppose he's now gonna go into the pit lane. Yes, he is. Guillermo now up to second position and Laguno into the lead. And yes, it is. Another set of hard tires for Elcrack towards the end of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Magindra in P5. Old medium tires for him though. He will probably get passed by Elcrack again. Let's see if his strategy is that good. And maybe also by Matt. It's going to be an interesting battle between the two countrymen. Yeah, what about Crustunet? Pole sitter, then caught up in that little train at the start, which F1 fan led. Now F1 fan's also given the reins back to the reigning champ, Laguno. And now we see F1 fan and Crustunet fight. Two Aston Martin teammates from Season 3, but Crustunet just pulls through here. Bit of lag for F1 fan. I think that's something that we saw in the first race already as well. Crustunet taking the grass cut into turn 1. I don't think that's something that all the drivers go for. And he's a fan of grass cutting. F1 fan still in the slipstream. He's got older medium tires and he has to come in relatively soon now. Crustunet's soft tires degrading faster, of course, but he can still maneuver through these corners a bit quicker than F1 fan behind him. And the two reigning champs, not the two reigning champs, the reigning champ and the champ previously, just going through their program in the top positions now, as it seems. And Crustunet does actually pit first ahead of F1 fan. He probably doesn't want to give the Romanian driver his slipstream anymore, because they will certainly still have a fight at the end of this race. Crustunet is going to the end now. 4 stops indeed, and with the mediums it won't be a 5-stopper at least. And Seb is now actually in P6. Relatively new soft tires, a lot newer mediums though from Magindra behind him. The strategies are very interesting. Many drivers just deciding on their personal situation in the race right now. At least it looks like it. I'm not sure how much of that is actually planned. I think Elcrack's strategy is planned. Just trying something different. But yeah, very individual, I would say. Guillermo now into the pits from second place. And it is soft tires for him. It is, 9 laps to go. Now, Laguno will of course also have to pit again. He's extended his mediums for quite a while, if you look at the top right of your screen. He could have also pitted already, but he's gonna take pit stop now and have 1 lap fresher soft tires. Where is Elcrack? Is he now going to take the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix? Yes, we see Laguno come out now, but I have my doubts that this will be enough for Elcrack to win this Grand Prix. He's still not a Grand Prix winner, but the podium might be in reach for him again. What is happening between F1 fan and Crustunet? Still very close to each other. Crustunet now is the one that is taking the slipstream. Remember, he pitted because he didn't want F1 fan to get his slipstream. Wilger is actually holding the fastest lap of the race right now, 31.4. And he's down in P14. Oh. Our DNF so far, Fede, Glow and Lewis, also a new driver here. And Sabercat also struggling right now, fighting with Salopete as it seems, but we are focusing on this battle. Crustunet goes through, going into the final 2 corners. And the Aston Martin driver up into 4th position again. He was the one who started in pole position. F1 fan did so last time out. Now he was on the front row. But they kind of have to play second fiddle to the champions today, as it seems. They're now also able to go to the end on soft here. Elcrack has been passed by Laguno. Not sure, I don't think that I covered that, but it was quite clear that was gonna happen. Inevitable, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, I think this battle might carry on for a bit longer though. The different tires coming into play. F1 fan, I think, still with the faster compound at this stage. They're kinda, yeah, they're really equal right now. Faster speed on the straights and also more grip for F1 fan right now. But it's all gonna change in the next few laps. The longer Crustunet stays ahead now, the faster his chances of taking P4 increase. Elcrack's hearts are going to be shredded on lap 42 out of 42. But I think he does have a chance of hanging on here. Crustunet is only 1 second behind Guillermo though. This is great to see. That we now have them united at the top again. We get a Laguno, of course, now consistently fighting and winning. But that was not a certainty back when Crustunet and F1 fan got into this league. In the times of when Piggy still won all the races. We got Guillermo still being one of the most active drivers. Of course, joined in season 2 together with Crustunet. And now he is very much one of the most experienced drivers. And here we are with Laguno. He goes into the final lap of the race. 5 seconds of a gap, still over Elcrack. Of course, that's something that I didn't mention, but there is still 1.5 seconds between Elcrack and Guillermo. It's not a certainty that Guillermo will still pass him. He's got 1.2 seconds still between the Italian driver, his teammate, of course, and him. And we get Crustunet also behind him. Oh my goodness. I should maybe also see Laguno winning this race, but we get Guillermo still having to fend off Crustunet in these last few corners. Wow, really close between the two of them. But what? Now team orders also happening. Elcrack sacrificing his podium even. I don't think Elcrack saw that Guillermo and Crustunet were so closely together. And that is not a podium for Elcrack in one of his rare appearances in the league. What an end to this race. Guillermo just about putting his car in front of Guillermo, preventing a send here. Wow, yes, Laguno does win the Brazilian Grand Prix. Guillermo in P2. It is the 7th Laguno Guillermo 1-2 in UMRL, and Crustunet rounds out a brilliant podium. And all of them are still capable of winning the championship this season, I would say. If they put in performances like we saw last time out from F1 fan, I think that F1 fan and Laguno would have been fighting for that win if Laguno raced. Yeah, not F1 fan's day, still he was up there in the leading pack, but only at its back towards the end. Also being beaten by Elcrack, who, yeah, would have finished second on the road. Majumdar takes 6th position, the first big points for the S25M team. Matt in P7, 7/8 in the Aston Martin. Huanvi not able to be close to the podium this time. Sigma Bob in P10. Was very close between him and Huanvi. Toaster only in 11th, A very silent race from the Briton. Oh, and I just see now that the liveries are mixed up. Of course, F1 fan is in the one time and Toaster is in the APA. Then Solepete and Sabercat for Jaguar, who I have to say are a lower midfield team still. But I do think that there is a chance for Sabercat to make it into UMRL permanently. Even though he just finished ahead of Wilger, who, I don't know what happened to his race at the end. He took the fastest lap of the race. And these are our point standings after 2 races. F1 fan leads the championship by 7 points over Guillermo. There is still a bit of sorting to be done. For example, Laguno only raced once, but he's still in 3rd up there. But we have Crustunet and Elcrack, if he races, who could definitely also be right up there. Matt, Toaster and Huanbi have taken 2 nice results already. And Majmdar will also be hoping to improve once again in his brand new team, which is currently placed in P5 in the team's championship. Etruria lead that one just a point ahead of Williams. The 2 rivals from last season also on top this time around again. I hope you enjoyed the second race of UMRL this season. Let me know by leaving a thumbs up or of course a subscription, and we will see you for round 3 once again at the Hungaroring.